Going on, people? Just wanted to get a update on a few coins. Haven't done any contact, contact, content in a minute. Um, just looking at some of the coins I've been looking at regularly. Starting off with telos, and I was saying how if we broke out of this channel or this wedge bullishly, we will more likely see 23 cents. And you saw 23 cents. And really, the price action has been weak. Other, coins have gained a lot more value, like Ethereum's up like, I think got up to like 120% since its lows. Um, Telos really has just been uh, disappointing. Just a 30% return. Well, at its height was like 43%. But it was like I was saying at the time, it was like a more low risk as long as Bitcoin didn't roll over. Um, and pretty much this pattern's measured move played out. So what am I looking for now is, can we get to 25 cents? As you look left, you can see that 25 cents has been an area of support and resistance several times. Back in June 2021, back of August 2021. Um, if you could somehow, get to that level and break above, you could be seeing your next major resistance around like 38 cents. But I mean, just looks weak, honestly. It's just looking like we're just getting like a relief rally. RSI on the dailies, it's not overbought, but it's not really like low risk areas. Let's get the 4 hour kind of consolidating here. And you can see using this wick, kind of developing a symmetric triangle. And not breaking down either. So odds are you will be testing that 25 cent area. If you can break above, this, you could break bullishly out of this consolidation. Looking at your indicators, you're kind of developing, you have some bearish divergence, and you're kind of developing some hidden bullish divergence right now in your MACD on the 4 hour, which could lead to some positive price action in the near future. As well with your RSI. So you do have maybe a bullish argument if you get, an impulse if you get some positive price action to the upside. I'm just looking at the 1 hour. I really got to do my settings with these trend lines and stuff. But really, you got to look for, not just what telos, not just looking at telos independently, whether or not we'll break to the upside to the downside. You're going to look at Bitcoin. Just looking at the 1 hour to see if we have any other indicate like any advantage, maybe a sell off again, create some bullish divergence on the 1 hour and then run. But you got till the end, like August 22nd, before this pattern is complete. What you really got to look at is Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin right now is just really neutral in it. There, it really is showing some weakness. It did break out of this. Go to the daily. Actually, go to the 4 hour. Yeah, we were making this like a rising wedge. You broke out of it bearishly, and we are getting some fall through to the downside. So that's definitely not neutral. That's definitely bearish. I did have Bitcoin more so in a rising wedge. Kind of been more so something like this. like I had it on this chart and I just recently deleted it. I mean, what was really important was the bottom trend line that you're right now about to break. That's definitely not bullish. You got to pivot at some point, like soon, within the next like few hours. If you don't, I mean, this is, you could argue whether it's a rising wedge or you could just create a channel here. Either way, whatever way you're drawing it, it's just another bear flag. And if that's the case, using your measure move from the breakout, the previous bear flag, you can see another, 40% drawdown towards your target really of your breakdown of your double top. When I was first created this channel, it was the one thing I was talking about as far as like what I was seeing with Bitcoin. I was very bearish, kept, warning people. Really, I think I created this channel back in March, April. I think it was March. To be, expecting to see more downside, and we're definitely seeing that downside. But it's just not looking bullish, and I believe the measure move was around the 12 to 14K area. So you should be seeing that soon. But really, what really should have you concerned is the fact that this price action has been kind of predictable. Whenever you hit a fib, you have kind of like your 382 or your 50% or your 618, you have consolidated, you have had an attempted rally to the upside, and then you have just rolled over to make lower lows. And it seems like it's mimicking that price action again. Your next fib, if you break the 17,827, I mean, this is not the precise fib because I just drew it on here, but your next fib is 11,298 on that level. I mean, might seem crazy, but at this point, I don't know why people wouldn't expect anything else. Honestly, the economy's in shambles. You're in a recession. There's a lot of propaganda right now coming out of the government stating that they're trying to redefine what a recession is. Yeah, interest rates are elevated, housing is collapsing. The only thing that's really like staying somewhat stable is like jobs, but I think that's being manipulated. That data is manipulated as well. But also, you'll probably see a rise in unemployment soon. The dollar has been, still in this parabolic wave. I was looking at the 4 hour. I had this, if your impulse down, has some consolidation, and you broke both. So you had the consolidation. Of course, you have, because we're in a parabolic move right now with the dollar. 120 is still the target. It's going to take time, might take till next year to get that target. But you have this 5 year consolidation pattern. You broke bullishly. Why not see that 120? Everything fundamentally is setting up to see higher prices in the dollar. We're going to look at some other coins like Ethereum that's been performing extremely well from its lows. Like I said, I think it's up at like 120% or something like that. It's from its low to high. Let's look at from your low. Yeah, you're up over 130%. But the problem with Ethereum now is you're hitting resistance. If you look left, um, around that 2K area, which you did hit 2K and said daily. Hit 2K and you're not, and you like had a rising wedge as well with Ethereum. And if you're just finding the channel and you're just watching, it's like I'm very informal, not like editing these videos. I'm just giving you my thoughts as far as like what I see in the market. But you did have this rising wedge, and really what I had it at set it at first was here. But I just adjusted it, and you're kind of back testing an adjustment, and it's looking like you're about to roll over more. That's like a 14% dump. I was sorry, 20% dump. Yeah, you're going back down to at least the 1450 area. That is actually very interesting because that is your, I believe I have another chart on Poloniex. The Poloniex chart. I thought I had Poloniex chart of Ethereum in this price action. I think I do. Yep. And what's interesting is that is, well, on here is 1536. Excuse me. But if you go to the candle close on a weekly, 1347. So really is in that range of whether or not, you're testing that, previous all-time high. But the real problem with Ethereum right now is BTC pair, which has daily bearish divergence. So weekly looking pretty positive. You did have this consolidation as you broke bearishly. Never made a measure the measure move. Broke back within a pattern. Weekly RSI, you're getting some. On a weekly, it looks fine, but really the issue is the daily. Right now, this actually trying to pivot. You do have some bearish divergence on your daily MACD and RSI as well, but you're trying to pivot. And I mean, if you pivot and you make a new high, probably going to develop some more bearish divergence on both indicators. So that's the issue. Also, the issue with Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin dominance is just interesting. We're in a bear market. Usually bear markets, everybody rushes back into Bitcoin. That is definitely not happening this go around. You're getting near again the bottom of this range. Very interesting development happening right now. A lot of people are speculating that Ethereum will flip Bitcoin. This is just kind of some evidence of that. This is just in this range. You've been in this range since really May of 2021. And it's been consolidating. Whether we're going to break bullishly or bearishly is going to be very interesting. Really kind of overdue for a rally, but I mean, I don't know. You break 39.66, it's going to be a very interesting market, and I think that's when you're going to see a lot of more, a lot of money pouring into, these altcoins with Ethereum. But now I just wanted to give a brief update of what I'm seeing in the market. It's looking bearish. It's looking like we're going to be seeing lower prices, and it looks like the continuation to the downside is happening now. Before I get out of here, let me look at some stocks actually, because S&P has been ripping higher, and what you're just saying is you're at this resistance, and you're stopping at this resistance. Your RSI on the daily is got to overbought levels. But what I was really looking at for S&P and all the other, with the stock market, I was looking at Apple actually, which has this bearish chart that developed, and you hit the 886, and you're starting to sell off. And what's also interesting, you look at the 4 hour and this like wedge. You're at the top of this like pattern that's starting to develop. I can actually delete these trend lines or hide them for right now. Let's hide these. This on only the daily. It's kind of no way. Oh, you can see we're kind of forming this like got this trend line up top that you're testing. And to me right now, Apple could be a potential short. It's not financial advice. It's saying that, you know, Apple is looking interesting right now, these prices to potentially roll over. And also you look at the 4 hour MACD, you have triple MACD bearish divergence starting to play out bearishly. Your RSI is elevated. Another indicator I like to use that I've been using a lot lately is TDI GM. It's a TDI GM indicator, combines several indicators. And you can see when you get to these levels, these elevated levels typically are at the end of your runs. You're at elevated levels, you don't have any divergence, but it's looking a little bit over. Apple seems like a low risk short, honestly. Look at the weekly time scale. You are developing, maybe if you start to lose momentum, you will be developing some hidden bearish divergence on your weekly. I mean, there's a lot of signs that are telling me that, you know, Apple could potentially be topping out here and rolling back over. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing right now in these markets. Some of these, I mean, I'm not gonna get into like the Bed Bath Beyonds and stuff like that. But I mean, these markets looking like we're just had a you know, bear market rally, and it looks like we're setting up for some more to see more downside before we see upside. And I just want to show you before I get out of here. When do I think the bottom is in? I mean, we do. I'm just jumping around, but we do have some bullish divergence on the MACD on a weekly time scale with Bitcoin. But as you can see, we can actually be developing. Still, it's premature, but you could be developing some hidden bearish divergence already on a MACD on a weekly. But also, what I'm seeing with this TDI GM on the daily, actually. See on this indicator, there's a pattern that is actually starting to play out. Well, not starting to play out, it's been playing out this whole bear run. You could put it like this, so everything touches. But really, it's like a humongous wedge. And really, until you break out of this wedge on this indicator, I don't think the bottom's in. Could get to sell off, make another lower high, maybe test around 30. And then we finally bottom out to see a very real and significant run. That's what I'm seeing right now as far as like my edge right now with, you know, the crypto market, because price, you know, well, this is not price action, this is this indicator, but it has sustained itself within this pattern on this indicator. You can see anytime we got near the top of this trend line, we had rolled over. You know, back in March, that was that 48K. Now we're at that 25.3 area. Back in October was actually your high before your highest high. But you can see that this is like over almost like a year and 6 months now, or a year and 8 months now. You have maintained within this pattern. We break out of it, that's when I'm going to get extremely bullish. We get some, divergence on this indicator, which we didn't on this last low, just pivoted and ran because you bounced off the 76 fib. Um, then I will get, a lot more bullish. But right now, that's what I'm seeing in these markets. Just wanted to give update on a few coins, some stocks, some indexes, and hopefully you're staying safe out there. Until my next video, peace.